is to be here today on behalf of my brother-in-law, Mike Costa. He pulled me aside at Seven Springs and asked me to do this today. And to say, that I was nervous and anxious and excited about it is really an understatement. But, I thought, yeah, sure, I could do this, I'm thinking, what am I going to say? What stories can I talk about, There's a few we can and a few we can't. But he says, don't worry about it. He says, I'll send you a bio with everything that I did, every band I played with, everything you gotta worry about. So I'll send it to you. Just work off of that. Little did I know I was getting the first chapter of War and Peace. Anyway, here we go. This is what I got for you. So Mike Costa was born on July 5th in 1961 to William and Phyllis Costa of Irvington, New Jersey. The Costas had met in the 1950s while dancing at the Irvington Polish home. They first introduced Mike and his younger sister to the Chicago-style polkas at Dover Polanka in Dover, New Jersey. Mike's dad was a musician as well, playing guitar and bass with a few local bands. So while Mike was growing up, there was a home filled with polka music and musical instruments. It was the trumpet that first interested Mike, and he gravitated towards that, but just continued on and started taking lessons at the age of 7. By the age of 10, he began playing guitar and piano as well. In 1973, at the age of 12, Mike joined his first polka band, the Matty Rock Band from New Jersey. 2 years later, he joined Jolly Rich and the Polka Stars and recorded On the Go with JRO, and this was Mike's first experience playing in the two-horn section. Then in 1976, IPA Hall of Famer Jan Simon, previously with the Dynatones and the New Brass, had moved to New Jersey to form the Musical Airs. This was where Mike got his crash course in what I'll call freestyle polkas. You see, Jan never had charts. Mike always read charts. So Mike told me the story one time. He said Jan would just go to him and say, well, here's the riff. This is how it goes. Ironically, that's what Frank does to me every once in a while. So he would just play the riff to Mike, real slow, and Mike would just pick it up and start playing, So this was a pivotal moment in Mike's career because he became more comfortable, memorizing the parts and just playing almost like an improvisation. So, Jan had told him, he says, you want to play these parts? He said, just think of them in your mind, how the part's supposed to go. That's where that freestyle came from, and that's where Mike would showcase that freestyle a few years later in 1984. During the time with the Musical Airs, Mike recorded 2 recordings, Coming Your Way and Oh Yeah. So 1979, Mike moved on and joined Freddie K. Konjerski and played with Freddie's band. I believe it was about a year. Freddie was a popular band, New Jersey's #1 polka band. Traveled up and down the East Coast that year with Freddie. So then a year later, Mike spent the summer and fall seasons playing with Zip Lubowiński's Polish All-Stars, which featured yet another Hall of Famer, Bruno Mikos. Later that same year, Mike was 19, and he joined IPA Hall of Famers Mitch Biskup and Roger Litwala with the New Brass. With a brand new recording on the way, this was Mike's first opportunity to contribute a song. He converted, arranged, and sang the vocals on the Beatles hit, You Like Me Too Much on Brass Magic. This song was a hit for the New Brass, and was one of the first Beatles songs converted into a polka. I'm starting to see where you got it. You're hanging out with a lot of Hall of Famers your whole life, haven't you? So 1983, Mike finally joins the Magitones. And a year later, 1984 brought us the release of Face the Music. This was the LP that I heard for the very first time and thought, Mike Costa, who in the hell is this guy and how do I meet him? Amazing. This recording, Face the Music, had 5 original songs that Mike had written, including one of my favorites, Tell Me Why, and as well, Dover's Last Goodbye, a tribute to the famous polka venue, Polanka in Dover, New Jersey. That's where Richie was. This recording is where Mike really began to flex his improvisational muscles, as I like to call it. So the year 1987 saw most of the members of the Magitones retire, so Mike decided to form his new band, The Limelight. And a year later, the band released Let There Be Light. This LP had 4 more original songs written by Mike on it. It was shortly after that time that I joined the band myself after meeting my wife and moving to New Jersey. Mike had already written 5 more original songs intended to be recorded on a second LP, but then things began to change. Around 1990, the band began playing a lot of weddings and family affairs that required more traditional pop, rock, and American music. The band always had a nice mix of that music in its back pocket. Thus, the crossover of Limelight began. At that time, Mike again had written 5 more songs for another recording. That didn't happen. So he says, I got an idea. I'm going to give those songs to Joe Zaleski. Joe took those songs and recorded them on his 1991 release, Blackjack. Limelight continued on until 1993 before we decided to take a break. So finally, 1996, The Beat was born. The band traveled the polka world 4 years recording a 6-song demo called Jammin' in the Basement, followed that up with our first CD, Meet the Beat, which included 7 more songs by Mike. And in 1999, we released When I Saw You, 6 more songs written by Mike. The funny thing is, I would always talk to Mike. He's like, hey, I wrote another song. I'm like, where were you doing that? Like, were you on a toilet or what? It didn't matter. The guy could write a song driving the car, and it'd be like on the dashboard. I got some words I'm going to put down here real quick. So it's amazing. So as you can see, he's done it for quite a long time. So the Beat had traveled across the United States for quite a few years, decided to take a hiatus in the year 2000. One more time, Mike's got another 5 original songs. Got stashed away for another recording. Calls up Joe Zaleski. Hey Joe, I got a couple songs for you. Joe records, The Beat Goes On. Cryptic. The year 2011 gave the polka field, and more importantly the Beat, a major kick in the gut. Beat's original bass player, Joe Jula, suddenly passed away. To say we're all completely devastated is an understatement. So in 2012, to honor Joe, the Beat reunited in order to play a cancer benefit dance at the Bayway Polish Home in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And then in May of 2013, the USPA asked the Beat to do a reunion at the Memorial Weekend for USPA convention, thus the beginning of the Beat 2.0. 4 years later, in 2017, the new CD came out after 18 years by The Beat, titled The Question. This recording included, yet again, 2 more songs by Mike, The Question and Another You. And 2 years later, we released The Answer with 4 more original songs penned by Mike, including Dance the Night Away and Ronnie's song, She's My Perfect. Then 2020 came, and we all know what happened then, right? Yep, 3 guys left The Beat. What is going on? I personally thought, here we go again, not Mike. He realized that the time was right. Just as he had been given a chance when he was young, at an opportunity to join a band and carry on the music that we all love, he would offer that same opportunity to another group of young, talented musicians, which helped form the latest version of Beat 3.0. Dave called them the 3 Amigos. I refer to them as the Young Squires. With Mike's guidance and their drive to push the polka pedal to the metal, they came in and they crushed it on our latest CD, The Reason. Thank you, Young Squires. Mike and his family have been a big part of polkas for over 46 years. He's been on 9 different recordings with 6 different bands, written 38 original songs, and arranged at least 20 crossover songs from the pop, rock, country, and bluegrass genres. If you listen to his songs, and I mean really listen to the songs, you can hear the God-given talent that he possesses in his musical abilities and songwriting. Each song in and of itself has deep meaning, complex chords, and a catchy melody. That's what drew me to him in 1984. Mike, it's been an honor to have shared the stage with you and to have been a part of your musical and magical mystery tour for the last 33 years. I can't thank you enough, and I love you, man. Love you, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, 2021 International Polka Hall of Famer, Mr. Michael Costa.